That's right, we're back again with some SimCity 2000. This is running in DOSBox. So this time we're going to do another scenario, and it is the Charleston scenario. First, high winds, then flooding destroys your coastline. You must rebuild your city with the 20,000 of FEMA funds and reach a city population level of 45,000 in 5 years to win the scenario. Let's go. So right off the jump, a lot of bad stuff is going to happen as the hurricane makes land. As we can see, it's taking out some major buildings. Bridges are being washed away as the floodwaters continue to come inland. There goes another building. Now the floodwaters finally start to dry up, and it's time to assess the damage done by Hurricane Sue Ellen. Yesterday was a sad day in Charleston sports when local great Sam Krusty Manning died at the incredible age of 108. So let's pause the simulation and take a look at the devastation of a Category 4 hurricane. Immediately, we see that we've lost one power plant. So, I'm not going to rebuild it now, actually. I changed my mind. We're going to see if we need it first. But where we want to turn our attention is to the coastline over here. This part of the city has largely been taken out and it's been reduced to rubble. So, it's time to start bulldozing. Bulldozing, not only it uncovers the ground and lets you see what zone was underneath. So right now I'm bulldozing some industrial, and if it doesn't leave a footprint, that means that it was a civic building, such as a hospital or a park or fire department. But all the zones will show, like, hey, this is light commercial under all that rubble. Speaking of light commercial and light density zoning, we're going to be rezoning some of this light residential. And the reason is because, as you remember, we have a population goal of 45,000 in 5 years. So, in order to reach that goal, we're going to start to increase the density of some of these neighborhoods. And I like to fill in these little core pieces with parks. Let's make sure that everything is powered, as a lot of power lines have been knocked out. And back to the area that was most affected, I do want to continue to bulldoze the rubble and increase the density of the residential and commercial light density zones. So let's put a couple more parks here and connect everything to power. You can actually see that this was already dense residential, so I don't need to rezone that. I am going to need to rebuild some roads. And we'll continue down the coastline. And the same thing over here. Now this one, I want to do something a little different. Instead of high density residential, I'm going to go for dense commercial. Make sure everything is powered. This is already dense, so we don't need to rezone this. But I'm going to do this, and I think this might be the last block. And I'm going to leave the coastal area alone. Rebuild some more roads. And continue to bulldoze the rubble. This is probably the only part of the scenario that I need to pause the game for. Other than, you'll see in a bit. I'm going to increase this to dense commercial. And I think I'm done with the rezoning. I'm going to start the simulation, and we can see right away hospitals are demanded. There's a sudden lack of hospitals in the city because during the hurricane, one of the city hospitals was destroyed. So let's rebuild it, and we'll build it right here. And I'll just clean up a bit more rubble while I'm at it. And we'll restart the sim and make sure everything has power, because that's key. Now, we're getting a message that says water shortage reported. And I guess I lied before because I do want to pause the game for this. We're basically going to build a ton of water pumps. Why? One look underground, we can see that there's a major shortage. We need to increase our capacity at least double. For now, just make sure everything is hooked up to the water grid. Fortunately, the city has a pretty robust infrastructure. And I'm going to continue to build water pumps, making sure they're powered. And I think this is a great place for some more. And why not throw in a water treatment plant? I'm going to build a mixed-use development. First, we'll zone a large block of dense residential, or rather dense commercial. I meant to do residential. Anyway, we'll complete it like that and zone some commercial right next to it. Top it off with a park. Make sure everything is powered. Let's see. Are our pumps connected to the existing grid? It looks like our water shortage is dealt with. Make sure the hospital that I built is powered. That's usually a good idea. Residents demand park. I'm going to do the residents one better. I'm going to build them a stadium. Of course, we have to go with a baseball team for Charleston. I actually went on a baseball tournament down south when I was in high school, and we played in South Carolina, we played in Georgia, and Tennessee. So I'm going to name the team after my old team, the Thunderbirds. So now we'll see that the message is no longer displayed. Don't forget to hook everything up to power. And let's have a look at our budget screen for the year end of 1989. This guy is saying raise taxes. I'm more focused on growth and demand right now, so I'm going to leave the taxes low. I'm proud to report that crime is at an all-time low. Sounds like you've earned yourself budget cuts. Free clinics, CPR training. Sounds like we need a new hospital. I've already built one here, and I know there's one on this side of town as well. So, I'm going to build a new hospital downtown. Great. All right. Let's move in. Tired of crashing at the Airbnb. And now, what would this city be without City Hall? Let's build some parks out front. In the meantime, I'm going to continue zoning new areas for development. Something I like to build next to schools are libraries. Make sure everything is hooked up to power. And let's have a look at the population now. 38,740. But, oh no. This highway was taken out during the hurricane. Still hasn't been rebuilt. Now that the highway has reopened, it's time to develop Drum Island. First, I'm going to build a road under the highway and build an off-ramp to Drum Island. Next, we need electricity, so I'm going to build a wire crossing here. And before we do anything else, I'm going to take a look at what my advisors are telling me. Alright, bring power over to the other side of the island. And I'm just going to build a big block road. Let's see, go from here. There. Boom. Gonna make a large residential zone here as well. And another mixed-use development. Mix in some light commercial just to fill in the gaps. Make sure everything is powered. And watch everything start to develop. Of course, we can't forget about water. So let's make sure that Drum Island is connected to the city's water grid. That should do it. All right. I'm going to build another block of zones on this side of the island. And I'm going to mix a couple of different zones here. I'm going to have a little corner of industrial. And I'm going to surround this road with residential as well as some commercial. Mixed density commercial. Make sure everything is powered. All right. Water shortage reported. As we're increasing the population, no doubt we need to increase our supply. So, I'm just going to plop down a few water pumps where we need them. And of course, make sure they're always connected to the grid. sure everything is powered. And we'll see how the population is looking. 41,090. And it is the year end of December 1991. So this guy's saying to raise taxes. I think 7%. Taxes are plenty high. Everyone else seems happy. So we'll continue zoning. Do want to take one last look at Drum Island here. And I think it looks pretty good. Okay, so it looks like we have a lot of demand for residential and commercial. So I'm going to zone some of both zones. Next to the college, we'll build some residential for the students to live on or off campus. I'll change this to light commercial just to have some corner stores. Elsewhere, we can continue to build more dense commercial. Let's take a look at the population. We're at 41,410. Something I've been thinking about doing is lowering our residential taxes. That should spur some growth, at least a little bit. Let's build some more residential. Let's see how our city is looking. 39,000. This calls for a tax break. Let's see if there are any ordinances that may help me. Nuclear-free zone will give a slight boost to residential demand. Let's crank it up to llama speed. I like to live on the edge. Now the population is up to 43,000. We're just shy of 2,000 to go. Going to continue to zone some residential. building some more water pumps as I go. Make sure the power's all hooked up. And we're under 500 to go. And there it is. So that didn't take so long. Again, this is one of the easier scenarios, but I'm going to start to play a few that are a little more challenging, and they take a little bit longer to complete. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time.